Featureless and fixed mag, the two most common methods of compliance with the state of California's assault weapon bans for your ARs and AK and other similar assault weapony kind of guns. Many people have their opinions on why they think either one is superior. Today I'm talking about featureless and why I think it's superior. At a later date I will talk about fixed magazine and its benefits and why I think it could be considered better, but today we're focusing just on the featureless argument. So, a featureless rifle, what is it? Well, in the state of California, we have an assault weapon ban based on a set of features. For rifles, basically, it starts with a semi-auto centerfire rifle with detachable magazines that has any of the following features, and it basically just lists off what those features are, being a pistol grip, collapsible stock or a thumbhole stock, a flash hider, a vertical foregrip, a flare launcher, the goods, the things that you would typically want on an AR-15. Now, the way we get around that is by not having any of those features. Most of these are by technicalities and legal, I guess some people could call them loopholes. However, I feel that they are perfectly fine within the way the law is written. We are complying with the law. The state doesn't like it, but it is something that is legal that they have had to accept as legal. The biggest benefits in my mind of featureless is that the use, the actual mechanical use, how the gun works, how the gun operates, how you clear malfunctions, how you do everything with the gun is exactly the same. You are fairly limited as far as muzzle devices, meaning you can only use muzzle brakes, compensators, or thread protectors. You cannot have a flash hider or any of those devices with flash hiding capabilities. You can't have a vertical foregrip, which is unfortunate, but you can have angled grips or hand stops or like the Magpul AFGs. Those are fine, but you cannot have actual pistol grips. The fixed stock is it's almost a non-issue in my mind. Many people get hung up about the fact that you can't adjust their stock, but for me, I'm going to find a stock position that works well, regardless of how I'm using it, and I'm not going to be moving it around. I'm going to get the spot that I like and get it set. The biggest issue that people have is with the grips. Now, for a long time, the only way around this was by going with one of those fin grips or a Kydex wrap that wrapped around a typical A2 grip. That, in my mind, is the weakest form of compliance in the sense that it is the least usable. However, many people like the benefit of it's typically easy to remove by loosening up a screw or two and slipping it off. But that's a topic for another day about non-compliance, which I have talked about down below. Now here's the thing. With the new grips like the Sparrow Dynamics, the Thordson stocks, and the Juggernaut grips, which I have talked about in depth and I will leave links to down below and you can find in my playlist section for California AR-15s, these grips make the actual usability and shootability of the gun almost on par with a standard fully featured rifle in any other state. I'm not going to say it's just as good, because I do not believe that it is just as good. However, it gets you pretty close. It gets you somewhere that you still have a gun that is perfectly fine, is usable, good for home defense, easily control the gun by being able to wrap your thumb over the top of the grip, and it gets you in a position where you have a good fighting rifle, if that's what you're looking for. Featureless, in my mind, having the usability and the manual of arms that's the same with any other firearm, any other AR-15 style firearm in any other state, that's key. The next biggest benefit is being able to use magazines like this. Now, this one conveniently has a number 1 on it because featureless is number 1, right? That's stupid, I know, yeah. But the fact that you can use standard capacity and high capacity magazines like a drum mag or a 30 round mag in your AR that's featureless is very, very much appreciated. With a fixed mag gun, you're not actually going to be able to legally put that on your gun, which for me makes it a no-go, which for me makes it a no-go for home defense. I want as much capacity as possible. Having 30 rounds in the gun, because in a home defense situation, chances are you're going to pick up your gun and you're going to start doing whatever you got to do. If you have kids in the home, you're most likely going to have to go retrieve your kids and then bring them back. You're probably not going to have time to put on a chest rig, a battle belt, have extra mags in your pockets. You're just going to grab that gun and start doing whatever you got to do. And for me, having more ammo in the gun to begin with is crucial. Having more ammo in the gun to begin with means you have to reload at a later date. Having more ammo in the gun means that you might not need to reload at all. Now, I understand and I recognize that most home defense situations and most personal protection situations with civilians use anywhere from 0 rounds to 2.7 rounds on average. However, I know there are many outlier cases where people fire more than 10 rounds, and I do not want to be caught in a situation where I only have 10 rounds, or maybe 10 plus 1, meaning 11, when I really needed 12. Needing 12 rounds with a fixed mag or with a low capacity magazine in a gun means that you're reloading at least once. When you have a 30 round mag, that gives you the option to continue firing or do an admin reload, getting you all the way back up to 30. It's one of those things where, for me, magazine capacity is key. If you are not trying to pack a gun into the smallest package possible and keep it loaded with a mag in it, 30 round mags are the way to go. Some people love those 20 round mags for bench shooting or for putting it in a bag when it's loaded, but that's not really my use case. That's not something that I feel is a adequate benefit, because if you can put 20 rounds, you can put 30 rounds, but it is what it is. The closest thing that fixed mag has to that is the 10 to 10 couplers that I talked about in a previous video about the Cross Industries magazines, and there's many other options like that, but having a normal manual of arms plus a 30 round mag in your gun, or if you're like me, you can rock a 60 round drum mag that you legally acquired, that is crucial. However, many people don't already have those magazines, and they did not acquire them when it was legal to do so. And if you're uncomfortable with the idea of breaking the law, which I never recommend anyone does, you're stuck with 10 rounds. Now, at the end of the day, even if you are limited to 10 rounds with both the featureless and the fixed magazine, you are still going to be able to reload more simply with a featureless gun. I'm not talking about speed, because I've seen people that are not very fast at a normal reload, and yeah, they're going to be slower than someone that's an expert level reloader with a fixed mag setup. Some of the fixed mag setups are very fast. However, at the end of the day, a simple reload is always superior in my mind. Pressing one button and that's it, putting rounds in the gun and dropping the bolt, that is way better than some of the systems that are out there for fixed magazine. Even if it's the fastest ones on the market, which I will talk about at the later date, you are still doing multiple actions at once and adding an extra level of complexity to the weapon system that I am not fond of. So for me, when you have a featureless gun, even if you can't get over, and now here's the thing, people are going to talk about featureless and they're going to say that the guns look ugly. And yes, I will admit that the featureless and the compliant grips on the California market, they're not good looking. They obviously don't have the same They obviously don't have the same aesthetics as a normal AR-15 pistol grip, and having a flash hider, you can't have. There are limitations, and I recognize that. However, at the end of the day, the guns are functionally simpler designs than a fixed mag gun, and for me, that adds an extra point to the featureless bandwagon. So if you absolutely cannot get over the fact that the gun looks like a neutered firearm or a neutered AR or a neutered AK or just looks hideous, there are options for you. Springfield M1A, Ruger Mini 14, Ruger PC Carbine, Fightlight SCR, all of those guns are naturally featureless in the state of California, give you the ability to use normal high capacity and standard capacity magazines, and have detachable magazines that you simply press a button and reload. For me, featureless is superior. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about why fixed mag could also be considered superior. If you would like some discussion about typical builds for a featureless gun, I have 2 build lists that are anywhere from $650 to $1,000 that you can watch in my California AR-15 playlist to get you an idea of some of the parts. Now, personally, I have a few favorites when it comes to featureless. Obviously, I am a fan of the Sparrow Dynamics featureless grip. I am also a huge fan of the Juggernaut tactical grip. My main concern with the Juggernaut tactical grip is its maybe potentially questionable legality. People have mentioned the Ledesma arms grips, and I would absolutely never run that on one of my guns. However, some people are comfortable with doing it, but I will absolutely recommend that you do not buy the Ledesma. The Juggernaut, while it is questionable, I think it is still legit because Turner's Outdoorsman, I believe they have more stores down in Southern California. They had their team of lawyers look it over, and they feel confident that it is legal and is compliant with a non-pistol style grip. The Thordson is an excellent option as well. It's a little bit more thick. It's more of a thick boy, but if you want to use that, you also can. Now, for angled grips, many people really like the BCM kinesthetic angled grip, and I do also. It's very small. It's very sleek. There's also the Slate Black Industries grips that I've used before, and I really do enjoy. There's tons of options. When it comes to hand stops and angled grips, they're basically all fairly similar. Find something you like, get used to it, work it, do it. When it comes to muzzle devices, there are some cheap ones. Personally, I think that just a thread protector on the end cap is perfectly fine if you're on a budget. However, if you want to step up to some of the nicer options, keep in mind that a muzzle brake is going to be very loud, going to be very concussive. So for shooting indoors, that's definitely going to be a downside. Now, if you have any sort of recommendation as far as featureless setups that you like, go ahead and drop a comment below. If you have a featureless gun, go ahead and drop a comment below with how you have yours set up. A quick reminder that I am still doing a giveaway for the Cross Industries coupled mags. You can find that video on the Cross Industries mag just down in my recent videos, and if you just leave a comment there, it should enter you for that giveaway, at which point I'll give those away probably next week. So if you have any questions, as always, have fun, be safe, stay dangerous, peace! Oh, and real quick, thank you to everyone that continues to like, subscribe, share these videos. I enjoy having the conversations with you. I really like having these conversations through when the video premieres live, because it gives us a chance to interact with each other and kind of, have more conversation actively. So feel free to turn on post notifications so you see when those goes live. I really do enjoy having these conversations in the live chat. If you want to support the channel even further, I have a Patreon, but obviously there's no obligation for you to support that. I think the rewards are pretty fun and entertaining. Many people also agree. So if you want to do that as well, there's a link down below. But as always, have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.